God is about to shock everyone who counted you out. Your rise will be their lesson. Listen to me carefully, they thought you were finished. They said you'd never rise again. But what they didn't know was that God was silent, not absent. Every time they doubted you, He was building something they couldn't see. And now, your rise will be the answer they can't explain. They counted you out when life got quiet, when your name stopped echoing in their conversations, when your light dimmed under the weight of everything that tried to break you. They said you were done. They thought your silence was defeat, that your struggle was punishment, that your fall was final. But they forgot something powerful, they forgot who wrote your story. God did. And when He writes, even broken sentences become miracles. You see, while they were watching your fall, He was rearranging your foundation. Every tear, every delay, every betrayal became part of the construction. You didn't lose, you were being rebuilt. What felt like endings were just edits, what felt like isolation was preparation. The divine doesn't rush, it refines. And you, chosen one, were being refined in fire no one else could survive. They mocked your quiet season because they couldn't see the seed under the soil. But tell me, have you ever seen a flower bloom in public? No, it grows underground first, in darkness, in silence, unseen. That's where your strength came from. In the moments when you wanted to give up, when the noise of doubt drowned every whisper of faith, heaven was still writing. God was still listening. Every time you cried alone, He was counting each tear as currency. And when the world turned its back, He was turning you around. You thought it was over, it was only the rehearsal. Now the shift begins. Watch carefully. The same people who doubted you will search for your name in disbelief. They will see your glow and call it luck, not realizing it's the light of grace. They will see your peace and think it came easy, not knowing how many storms you had to calm inside yourself to earn it. The tables are turning, not by chance, but by design. Because God doesn't humiliate His chosen, He educates the world through them. Every rejection was redirection. Every delay was divine timing adjusting your route. You were never forgotten, you were being positioned. There's a moment when pain runs out of strength and purpose takes its place, that moment is now. Your rise isn't revenge, it's revelation. The universe, heaven, destiny, whatever you call it, is aligning every piece that once broke you into a pattern too perfect for coincidence. The ones who left you will watch in silence as favor sits beside you. The ones who lied about you will hear your name wrapped in applause. And the ones who tried to bury you will realize you were a seed. You will not have to defend your journey. You will not have to explain your glow. The evidence will speak louder than their opinions. Stand tall. You survived what was meant to silence you. You rose when they prayed for your fall. You held faith when logic screamed to quit. You are the proof that divine delay is not denial, it's design. And now the designer himself is ready to reveal his work. The doors that once closed on you are about to open without knocking. The opportunities that overlooked you are circling back because you're no longer the same person who once waited at those thresholds. You are elevated. You are enlightened. You are proof that heaven has the last word. So when you start to see things shift, when the blessings begin to come faster than explanations, don't let pride speak. Let gratitude sing. Because this moment, this rise, this victory, was not born from luck, it was born from obedience. God watched every moment you stayed kind when you could have been cold, patient when you could have forced it, faithful when you could have quit. And that's why your rise will not just restore what you lost, it will multiply it. Mark these words, your season of silence has expired. The voice of your destiny is clearing its throat. You will walk into rooms you once only dreamed of, stand in places your enemies said you'd never reach, and your name, the same name they mocked, will now be mentioned with respect. And when they ask how it happened, just smile and say, God was listening when no one else was. Your rise isn't coming, it's here. The shock they feel will not come from your success, it will come from realizing they misjudged the story before it was finished. And now, heaven is about to premiere your next chapter. Watch what happens next. You can feel it before you even see it. The air around you has changed, heavy with purpose, thick with timing. The same places that once rejected you now feel different, as if they've been waiting for you to return stronger. Every step you take hums with quiet confirmation, and deep inside, something whispers, this is it. The season that broke you didn't end you, it woke you. All those nights you begged for a sign, cried into your pillow, and questioned if any of it mattered, he heard every word. The silence wasn't punishment, it was strategy. You weren't being ignored, you were being prepared. There's a difference between being delayed and being denied, and now you see it clearly. If God had given you what you wanted back then, you wouldn't have been ready to hold it. You had to lose what you thought you needed to find what you truly carried. The waiting stripped away the false friendships, the shallow approval, the noise of the crowd so you could finally hear your own strength. That's why the comeback feels holy. It's not just success, it's survival that bloomed into purpose. Look around, everything that tried to bury you ended up feeding your roots. Every heartbreak became soil. Every betrayal became water. Every failure became sunlight. They wanted to break you, but they didn't know who was watching. God was using their attacks as materials for your building. He let them underestimate you because he needed witnesses for what's coming next. You don't rise quietly when you've been buried loudly, you rise in a way that shifts the atmosphere. Your glow isn't arrogance, it's evidence. And when you start walking in the favor that's unfolding, don't explain it to anyone. Let them wonder. Let them talk. You spent too long trying to be understood by people who were never meant to understand divine things. This time, you owe no one closure. The same ones who dismissed you will replay your story trying to find where they went wrong. They'll say you changed, and they'll be right. But it wasn't change born from pride, it was change born from healing. You outgrew the storm that tried to drown you. You became the calm. Do you remember those moments when you whispered, God, I can't do this anymore? He remembers too. But look at you now, you did it. You're still standing, still believing, still creating light in places others only found darkness. That's why the tables are turning so violently. It's not karma, it's order. Heaven always balances what the world breaks. The people who counted you out will soon have to count on you, and they won't understand how grace chose you after all that. But you'll know. Because you were there in the dark when no one saw the fight, when no one saw the faith, when no one saw the tears you turned into worship. Now, the spotlight that scared you will become the stage where your story saves others. You'll speak and people will feel seen, not because you're perfect, but because you survived what they're still facing. That's how God works, he turns pain into testimony, scars into scripts, weakness into witness. You thought the waiting was wasted time, but it was classroom time. The lessons you learned in the fire are the same ones you'll use to guide others out of theirs. So, lift your head. Straighten your crown. Walk into this new season knowing the silence trained your spirit and the suffering built your foundation. You don't need to chase what's already yours. God is about to deliver it straight to your door. And when it arrives, it won't just fit, it will overflow. Every no from the past will make sense. Every door that closed will prove it was protecting you, not punishing you. The shock they feel when they see you rise won't be from your success, it will be from realizing they never truly knew your source. This is divine timing. This is the season the universe aligns everything that once scattered. Every seed you planted with tears is about to bloom under heaven's spotlight. You're not coming back the same, you're coming back crowned. Your rise won't make sense to them, but it doesn't have to. It was never their plan to understand, it was God's plan to reveal. And now, the revelation is ready. Stay humble, stay steady, and remember, He's not just lifting you up, He's setting an example through you. The ones who counted you out are about to learn that when grace rewrites your story, the ending always shocks the audience. Watch what happens next. The world starts to notice before you do, little shifts in the atmosphere that tell you something greater is at work. People who used to overlook you suddenly see you differently, and opportunities that once passed you by now seem to chase your name. You smile, not out of pride but out of awe, because you can feel that this isn't man-made, it's divine alignment. You can sense the weight of heaven's fingerprints on everything moving around you. Doors that were locked tight are opening without a knock, and the paths that used to twist are now unfolding like straight lines under your feet. The same people who doubted your worth whisper your name again, this time with respect. They don't understand what changed, but you do. You changed. You stopped begging for what was beneath you and started believing in what was built for you. You walk differently now. There's a quiet confidence in your steps, not arrogance but assurance, the kind that comes from surviving storms that should have destroyed you. Your spirit no longer shakes when the wind blows, because you remember, God was the one who calmed the sea. You learned that strength isn't loud, it's steady. You learned that patience isn't weakness, it's strategy. And you finally understand that when you stopped chasing validation, that's when heaven started chasing you. The energy around you grows magnetic. The same places that once drained you now feed you. Peace walks with you like a shadow, and favor follows you like a scent. You've become the living proof that God doesn't waste pain. Every wound has turned into wisdom, every scar into story, every delay into design. This is not luck, this is prophecy fulfilled. You don't need to prove it, you just need to live it. And when the world asks, how did you survive? You'll answer simply, I didn't, He carried me. There are people who will try to come back, drawn by the glow they once ignored. Some will say they're proud of you, others will pretend they never left. But you'll know the difference. You'll feel the truth. You'll smile with grace, because bitterness no longer has a home in you. The same heart that once broke is now a gate for blessings to enter through. You won't seek revenge, you'll radiate redemption. You'll forgive silently, not because they deserve it, but because you finally understand that your peace is too expensive to trade for pain. And as your life starts to bloom in front of their eyes, remember this, your rise isn't just about proving them wrong, it's about proving that God never lies. He said He'd restore you, and He is. He said He'd prepare a table before your enemies, and He did. Look around, this moment you're living right now is that promise in motion. Every delay, every tear, every lonely night led to this. Nothing was wasted. You were never forgotten. You'll start hearing your name in rooms you've never entered, your work touching hearts you've never met. People will call it sudden, but it wasn't sudden, it was scheduled. Heaven had your date circled the whole time. This is the part of the story where everything hidden becomes visible, everything planted begins to bloom. You'll feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude that words can't hold, and it will humble you, reminding you that grace doesn't choose the qualified, it qualifies the chosen. And in that quiet realization, when you stand in the very place that used to intimidate you, lift your eyes and whisper, thank you. Because this isn't the end, it's the beginning of legacy. Your rise isn't just for you, it's for every person watching who thought they were too broken to be chosen. Your victory is a message, a sermon written in scars. It says, you can fall and still fly. You can be forgotten and still called. You can be doubted and still destined. The people who counted you out will one day say your name with reverence, not regret. They'll see that the silence they mistook for failure was the sound of construction. God was building something they couldn't destroy. And now that the foundation is set, no one can shake it again. So keep walking. Keep shining. The world hasn't seen your full glow yet. This is only the beginning. The shock they feel will turn into belief, and their disbelief will turn into testimony. Because when God writes your comeback, even your enemies end up applauding. And when you lie down tonight, remember this truth, they didn't break you, they built your altar. The fire they sent only made your faith stronger. You were never buried, you were planted. And now, it's harvest time. Watch what happens next. There comes a point in every story where silence stops being painful and starts becoming sacred, and that's where you are now. The chaos has quieted, the storms have spent themselves, and all that remains is peace, thick, golden, and holy. You wake up one morning and realize that you're not chasing anything anymore. You're not running from the pain, not seeking revenge, not trying to prove your worth to anyone who refused to see it. You're simply existing in the rhythm God set for you. It's not fast, it's not loud, it's steady. Every breath feels deliberate, every heartbeat like a conversation between you and the divine. The noise of the world doesn't reach you the same way it used to. You've learned to filter it, to discern between voices meant to guide and voices meant to distract. And as you move through your days, you can feel a new kind of strength settling into your bones, the quiet kind that doesn't shout, it simply endures. You start noticing how much you've grown without realizing it. Things that used to shake you now barely touch your peace. The same situations that once left you crying now make you smile with understanding. You've learned that forgiveness doesn't mean weakness, it means freedom. You've learned that letting go doesn't mean losing, it means making space. You've learned that faith isn't about getting what you want, it's about trusting that what's meant will always arrive on time. And that's why everything in your life now feels aligned. The relationships that remain are solid, the opportunities that come feel natural, and even the challenges that appear no longer feel like punishment, they feel like preparation for something greater. People start to ask you how you did it, how you turned pain into peace, how you walked out of the storm without bitterness. You'll smile and tell them the truth, you didn't do it alone. You'll say that when everything broke, you fell into the hands of the one who never lets go. That when everyone walked away, God walked closer. That when the world doubted your survival, heaven started your revival. And they'll look at you, not understanding how faith could carry someone so far, but they'll feel it in your presence. Because when you've really been through the fire and survived, you don't have to prove it, the light shines through the cracks naturally. Then comes the day, the one that changes everything. You step into a room, a stage, a meeting, a moment that looks ordinary to everyone else but feels extraordinary to you. You feel the weight of it, the full circle, the divine timing of it all. The same places where you once felt small now feel like they're built around you. The same people who dismissed your dreams now hang on your words. The same opportunities that passed you by now wait for your yes. And you stand there, calm, poised, not arrogant but aware, knowing that none of this happened because of luck, it happened because you stayed faithful when no one was watching. You didn't skip the process, and now the promise has no choice but to honor you. The applause that follows isn't just for what you accomplished, it's for what you overcame. It's for every night you kept believing when it made no sense, for every morning you rose again when your heart didn't want to. It's for every version of you that refused to quit when quitting would have been easier. And in that moment, you don't feel proud, you feel grateful. Because you know the real victory wasn't in proving them wrong, it was in proving that faith works. Later that night, you sit alone in quiet reflection. No cameras, no noise, just you and the stars. You think back to the days when you begged for a sign, when you doubted your calling, when you thought the silence meant abandonment. Now you see it for what it was, strategy. God was never punishing you, He was positioning you. The isolation was incubation. The rejection was redirection. The pain was prophecy. It had to hurt, or else it wouldn't have transformed you. You whisper softly into the night, "Thank you for not letting them define me. Thank you for breaking me just enough to rebuild me right." And the air seems to move, as if the universe itself nods in agreement. Because this is what grace looks like, it's quiet, it's consistent, it's impossible to miss once you've lived through it. The same God who let you fall allowed you to find wings. The same people who doubted your rise will soon have to witness it. And the same heart that once broke under pressure now beats with purpose. You've stepped into the part of your story that no one can take from you. Not the rumors, not the enemies, not even fear itself. Because once God says, it's your time, no power in the world can delay it again. So, walk boldly into tomorrow. The crown you wear now wasn't handed to you, it was forged in fire. The light that surrounds you now wasn't random, it's the reflection of everything you survived. You are no longer waiting for the world to recognize your worth, the world is now learning from your witness. You are the living proof that what was meant to destroy you was actually designed to deliver you. And when you look up one last time before sleep, remember this: God didn't just bring you out, He brought you up. You were never forgotten, never abandoned, never behind. You were being prepared for this very moment, for this very rise. So let them be shocked. Let them wonder. Let them watch. Because this story, your story, is far from over. The best chapters are only just beginning. And as the stars settle over your window and the wind softens into prayer, you hear that same quiet voice whisper again, steady, certain, unstoppable, watch what happens next.